This is the video review for Human Alliance Mudflap with Chromia and Agent Simmons. First off, I guess we'll look at Simmons. It's a fairly decent likeness of John Turturro from the movie. Not perfect, but for this size, not bad. He's got the standard Human Alliance articulation with the rotating and hinged hips. Same thing at the knees, and then the same thing at the shoulders. No elbow articulation at all. But you can see how the legs move and all that stuff. And he's wearing pants. There are pockets molded, like cargo pants. There's some pockets molded on the side of his legs and the wrinkles down here. If you're not looking closely, it could kind of look like he's got naked, wrinkly legs down here, but he really does have pockets and details molded in. But the waist piece is a slightly different color. It looks a little worse on camera than in natural light, but it is a slightly different color. Makes him look kind of like he's wearing a diaper. So a minor complaint, but really. So there's Simmons right there. Just realized he can ride the bike. Chromia here. Again, I'm not going to go through the motion of getting him all onto the bike, but he can ride the bike, and just like every other Human Alliance figure, he does have the peg in his back that'll plug onto a peg on the seat, or peg hole in his back, so he can sit in. And again, I'm not going to go through the whole motion of wrestling him into the car, but you can have him sit inside Mudflap or any of the other Human Alliance vehicles and drive it. So, Seymour Simmons. Now the set comes with this Chromia figure, which is technically, it's in Chromia's color, but is a repaint of, not even a repaint, but is the RC bike design, at least going by the deluxes and the legends and the movie design and the, what's the word I'm looking for, Fast Action Battler RC. This is supposed to be the RC mold, but since they painted the Chromia mold pink or pinkish red and called it RC with skids, they've now called this one Chromia and painted it blue. Motorcycle mode, really not worth going to. The robot mode is actually nicely detailed, much better than RC. So really, if you want to waste your time trying to wrestle this into bike mode, you can, but I find it's not really worth it. Mostly because the transformation is frustrating. I'll do my best to show it to you here. And it's mostly just there's a lot of loose ball joints on tight hinge joints. Is really the issue here. But you start with pulling off this panel up, kind of untouch it from here. Just kind of get this detached and a little bit out of the way here. And then this panel, bring this whole assembly down like this. One of the other things too, the kickstand's too short. No matter how you get this lined up, that kickstand is not going to hold it. Well, there it's holding it, but when this is all down, it will not support the bike. It'll just keep falling over. Now this is only supporting it because this weight has now shifted a little bit further back. But in bike, I meant to show that off anyway. Come on here, bring this part of the wheel down. The wheel still spins, but this is going to be a stand when we get to robot mode. This is the worst pop-off offender here. This joint right here. You want to get this and thing in this. There's her head there under the windscreen, because both the arms are on the same joint. So you kind of got to rotate this around and wrestle the whole thing around here, like that. You really got to spin it, and then you got to slide it down. Such. Oh, it goes like this. See, there we go. These damn ball joints. Fold that around, bring the arm down. We'll get her arm back on here. Peg this on. Now, see, stupid joints. This thing really is a pain. Really, really a pain. You just gotta get everything lined up just right and. Just not a whole lot of fun. Snap that back on. You flip this piece out to form her hand, and rotate that under. There you have that hand. And down under here you want to bring the wheels together like this. And arrange those however you can. Get that base there underneath it. And the base will keep her standing fairly stably. I think you actually want to turn this around like this. When you find the right center of balance. Again, the mold is not really designed to tolerate much movement. Just the horrible way these joints are designed. But aside from that, it is a fairly decent sculpt. It's more dynamic looking, and I think a better looking sculpt of the figure than the RC that came with skids was. So there's that at least. And again, she does stand fairly stably once you get her to robot mode. But anyway, enough about her. Like I said, she comes packaged in robot mode. My advice, leave her that way. She's not the strong point of the set. And now on to Mudflap. Again, who's the Spark or the Matrix? Which one was he? I can't remember what model he was. The Trax, the Chevy Trax. There we go. He rolls very well. And is roughly the same size as skids in car mode. You can see his arms underneath. They do have very similar transformations, although not exactly the same. And we'll see some of those differences. Transform it, we want to open up the doors. Just like with most Human Alliance figures, usually that first step involves opening the doors. Come under here, and you're going to pull the hood up. This whole hood assembly. And peg it from back here. And it's going to do just like skids. And the thing is, it looks like it's supposed to come up more than it does, but it doesn't. So, but anyway, you want to bring this, rotate it around like this toward the back. So you've got that done. Then you want to come up here and pull the chest up and push it up through here. There's a couple little pegs in here that are going to peg into this chest piece. You just want to peg that right up against the front of the bumpers there. And again, you're seeing a lot of stuff that you've seen on skids. Here's where it gets a little different. You want to pull the arms down. And this is not actually all that different from skids, but pull the arms down like this, and then you want to take. Here's where it starts to deviate. You want to go ahead and pop these fender pieces out. Well, actually, you want to take these first, and bend the wheels in like that. The wheel piece comes in, rotates kind of down and in like that. Then you can pull out these fender bumper pieces, and you want to come under here and bring the arms, rotate them kind of down, bring that hinge up like that. And do that on this side, bring it up, kind of flip that around, bring it down, and then you want to take the wheels and fold them back in to the chest area. They're going to hide in the chest. Remember, skids, his wheels ended up just on his shoulders. These fold back into the chest here. He just rotate his arms up, close up the seats. Now here, he does have this gun on his hand, and if you fold it up, this is the if you fold it up to position it so Simmons or one of the figures can sit on his hand, the gun's now facing the wrong way. So you got a backwards facing gun. I'm not sure what the point of that is. But once you got all that done, and again, these pieces can flip up a little bit like they did on skids. Not as much. Bring these out, pull the doors out, and then the legs are pretty much the same as on skids. You want to pull them loose here, attach them from the back of the car, just pull them down, bring this piece in, then bring this whole assembly forward and slide. There's a little peg here on the waist that's going to slide into the slot here on the front abdomen piece. Just slide that in, and then you fold this piece around the foot, It's a little harder to unplug than on skids. Then bring the foot forward and come around to the back and rotate the ankle down. And again, you can rotate the ankle down before you do all this too. It doesn't matter what order you do it in with the ankle there. I'm going to fold that around. Flip up his foot. Although it does help if you flip the foot out before you flip the ankle down. Flip up his foot. Stand him up. Then you bring this and kind of push this backpack up. And then bring this around and hook it. Hook this over the bumper just like you do on skids. There we go. Again, push that backpack up on his back. Stand him up, bring his head forward. Just mess with him until he's standing, and there you have Mudflap in robot mode. And we just have the same basic arm articulation as skids. I've already showed you the little gun that you can use over here. He does also have the same flip over the head machine gun that skids does. And again, you can have Simmons stand back there and operate that. He can sit on the seat. This seat, you can actually rotate around, flip up the seat, and you can flip up this little handheld thing. So Simmons can sit there and kind of operate this grappling hook, which I'll show you here. The grappling hook, one, it's nice that it actually pegs on here, so it's not just flopping loose. When you're playing with it, there is like a little peg there that you can peg that into place, and the fingers still move individually. But you can shoot out this grappling hook, and then you just use this little dial here to wind it back up. And so those are all the features here on Human Alliance Mudflap. And it also does have the little the same talking feature that skids does. There you go, and you can position the door wings however you want. So a very similar transformation to skids, not entirely, not exactly the same. There are some differences. We'll pull, if you want to see a comparison, there's skids with his brother there in Human Alliance form. They are different enough to be cool, and they really are great versions of these figures, whether you like them or not. The sculpts and molds themselves are actually quite nice. And then just as another real quick comparison, here's Human Alliance Mudflap with the Deluxe Mudflap. And there are certainly some differences. I do think he's a much better figure. He does cost a little bit more, but he's a little bigger, has the compatibility with the figures, and overall pretty neat. But we'll get all the pieces in here. But there he is, Human Alliance Mudflap with Simmons and Chromia. Simmons, come on, stand. There we go. There they are.